Miami has a new police chief. Manny Morales can now remove the word interim from his name. He is the city's 5th police chief in 10 years.
His appointment this week comes after a few months of utter, well, now it's calm, but there was a storm before. The storm was named Art Acevedo. Chief Manny Morales is going to join us now live. Chief Morales, great to see you. Thanks very much for your time.
Hello.
Good morning, Glenda and Michael. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Chief Morales, Art Acevedo came in with a mandate, he said, to shake things up. But the fact of the matter is, as far as we can tell, he pretty much tore apart your department. Your morale suffered. Do you have things back on track now? Morale, has it come back up?
Well, Michael, it has been a long 5 months since I took over as interim back in October, and one of my first things that I wanted to take care of was kind of repair the fracture that the last administration caused, especially within the executive staff. He was very good at playing individuals against one another and in the differences that they previously had. So it has taken a lot of healing, and I think we'll back on the road to getting our team ready and set to do what they're supposed to do, what they took an oath to do, to protect the city of Miami and keep our community safe.
You know, Chief, we can't really talk anything about the police department without talking about the politics of Miami, and that's kind of often framed as a reality drama, and we all get to watch. In fact, the prior chief called it Game of Thrones. And really, the night that you were then sworn in as chief, the commissioners played the theme from Godfather for you. So the question is, how much really does politics play a part in your job, and how much do you really feel tasked in keeping commissioners, who are not your direct bosses, happy? So
to the average men and women, the brave members of the Miami Police Department, the politics is just a small distraction. They go each and every day out there and try to do the best, try to treat folks on the streets with dignity, compassion, and respect. And it doesn't play a big role in them. And those are the important individuals, right? They're the ones that go out there and they carry out the vision and the mission of the Miami Police Department to keep our community safe, to restore public trust, and to make sure that they're safe and healthy so they can do their job. So politics is not a real big deal, something that you have to be cognizant. You got to be politically savvy, just not politically involved.
Yeah. Well, we should point out that you work literally technically for the city manager. He hires you. You do not work directly for the mayor and commission. They can say what they like or don't like about the job you're doing, and they probably will. But the fact is, they don't have the power to hire or fire you, correct?
That's correct. It's not just technically, it's per city charter. My boss is the city manager, and the mayor and the commissioners can make requests and direct the city manager to make certain requests of the Miami Police Department, but the carry out of the enforcement of the laws, the day-to-day strategies and operations of the Miami Police Department, that's my sole charge, according to the city charter. So that's a responsibility I take extremely serious.
So as he departed, Art Acevedo, the prior chief, made some allegations that are now actually under investigation, and because of conflict of interest in the county have been moved to the Broward State Attorney's Office. And what Acevedo said was that the commissioners, maybe the mayor and the commissioners, use the Miami Police Department, or try to, as their own security force. Have they made those requests to you? Do you think those are valid? Have you filled them?
Absolutely not. And Glenda, I won't touch too much on it because it's open litigation, but I can tell you I've been here 28 years and I have never been in a position where a commissioner or any other elected official has attempted to give me a directive or an order. They do funnel plenty of complaints that they get from the constituents to their district offices. They are elected by our community, and our community holds them accountable for what's happening. So they do relay a lot of complaints and issues that are impacting the community that, of course, we respond to, because it's our job to keep the community safe. and be responsive to the needs of our constituents and those folks that live in the city and our stakeholders as well.
Yeah. Chief Morales, you know better than anybody, you and the men and women on your force, that there really is an epidemic of gun violence in South Florida, throughout the country, because of the easy access to guns. Thugs, gangbangers, others, trade guns on the streets. They don't go to the gun shops. They're probably just buying them, back and forth among themselves. But how do you get those guns? How do you tell people, teach a young generation that being a gunslinger is not the way to go?
So, Michael, while many of the big cities in our nation have experienced a rise in gun violence, we were extremely fortunate. Luck did play a part of it, but the hard work of the men and women of the Miami Police Department led to a 25% reduction in homicides last year. So far this year, we're 40% down from that number year to date. And we do see that a lot of the incidents out there are not what traditionally you would imagine, right? In the past, it was narcotics related, a turf war, gang going, or gangs disputes. Now it's more about a challenge to your manhood, your street cred. These social media beefs are popping up everywhere,
Right.
and we need to let our young men and women understand that there's consequences for their actions.
Yeah, well, you
and
have,
that there's not a way to resolve your differences.
right, and we know you have officers who are monitoring social media for that kind of activity. Chief Manny Morales,
Right.
we really appreciate your time today, and good luck with a great police department.
Thank you,
Thanks,
folks.
Chief.
I appreciate the time today.